Shut up and sit down.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Watches Etc. Before we get into this video, I just wanted to take a minute to say a huge thank you to all the new subscribers who have joined us over the past couple of weeks. As most of you know, we started this channel for fun, simply to pass the time during the COVID-19 lockdown. So to have gained over 100 subscribers already really makes us smile. I know 100 subscribers in the grand scheme of things is tiny, but then, we don't have any grand ambitions. We're not doing this to make money or sell adverts. We are simply doing this for fun, and are so happy that you are joining us for the ride. It really is appreciated and welcomed. Thank you. One of my new subscribers, James T, asked me a question the other day. Just what is the most affordable way to own a men's stainless steel Rolex in the UK? And today, I'm going to give you our advice. Whilst I'm focusing on the UK, because that's where I live, the same principles apply in most other countries. A quick search of websites like Chrono24 will prove frustrating if you're looking for a stainless steel Rolex for under £2,000. Dealers who list watches on those sites generally mark up their prices considerably to compensate for the cut that Chrono24 or eBay takes. For under £2,000, you're going to struggle to find a stainless steel men's Rolex in decent condition in the UK on those websites. So, you're going to have to be a bit patient and willing to put in the hard work. Searching independent watchmakers and dealer websites, making some telephone calls to speak to owners and ask what they have in stock, and importantly, being honest about your budget and the specifications of what you're looking for. You see, watch dealers get offered trade-ins all the time, so by having a relationship or simply phoning up a few local dealers and telling them A, what you're looking for, B, what your budget is, and C, that you have the money ready to go, they will be able to keep you in mind when they're offered trade-ins. And you'll be surprised what type of watches can be found. The fact is that a dealer who knows that they have a buyer lined up, ready to shift a traded-in piece quickly, is much more likely to sell to you at a discounted price as a loss leader. Bargains can still be found. I should say that this is not my watch and has been sent to me by the new owner, a user from over at the Bark and Jack Facebook group, drinking coffee and talking watches. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to send this back, but thank you so much to the owner, who's asked to remain anonymous, for sending this in and sharing his story. The owner of this watch spent about 8 hours looking online and making telephone calls over the phone. He was able to find this, an Oyster Perpetual date with the reference number 1500 from the year 1980. This watch is a gents stainless steel piece on an Oyster bracelet and has a case size of a very wearable 34mm and a thickness of 11.8mm. Whilst 34mm is on the smaller side of things for today's standards, the case type and lug-to-lug distance of 42mm makes it look right at home on all but the very biggest of wrists. So, how much do you think he paid for this stainless steel men's Rolex? How much would you be prepared to pay for it? Keep watching and I'll tell you the price later in the video. These 1500 dates are great little pieces, and to me, are the best value gateway into Rolex. This one is a black dial, but they come in a variety of colours. This piece is in great condition for its age, 40 years old, and whilst it looks like it has had a polish, it has not been over polished. The brushed finishing at the top is well done, and the black original tritium dial, which is in amazing aged condition, is covered with a slightly domed acrylic crystal. The watch is water resistant to 100 meters and has a twin-lock, screw-down signed Rolex crown. The movement powering this piece is the caliber 1575, beating at 19,800 beats per hour. It's hackable, can be hand-wound, and has a power reserve of 48 hours. The back of the watch is your typical Rolex caseback, as standard as they come but very functional. And the dial, it's in great condition. Although there are some signs of age and a slight patina, this type of aging is generally desired by watch enthusiasts and is what they call a tropical dial, with a patina forming randomly, turning the dial into a piece of art. You'll see that there are two T's flanking the word Swiss at the 6 o'clock position. This shows that the watch is using tritium lume. Tritium is a radioactive isotope of hydrogen, mixed with tritium blue paint. The lume dies as the watch ages and turns yellowish, again giving off a slight patina that watch enthusiasts love. Each hour marker has a small drop of lume, except for the one at the 12 o'clock position, because that instead has the polished Rolex crown. The bracelet on this piece is the iconic oyster bracelet, with a brushed finish on the top and polished at the sides. These older pieces have hollow end links, but the links themselves are held in by screws. The bracelet tapers nicely down to 14mm at the clasp, with the clasp itself measuring in at 15mm. These hollow end link Rolex bracelets have a charming rattle to them, which I think is very romantic and I always love. I'm also a big fan of the pressed metal clasps on these vintage pieces. Sure, if you held one of these against a modern day Rolex clasp, you'd say that it may feel flimsy. In truth, you could probably compare this clasp to one found on a modern day Seiko. But I love the feeling they give and the nostalgia, and importantly, the ability to get a great fit. There are plenty of micro adjustments on the clasp, and I find it much easier to get a perfect fit on these older style clasps than newer ones. For me, 34mm is a great size. I just wish that more modern watches still came at this size. I think that this would make a perfect everyday watch, able to be worn for every occasion, from casual to formal, and everything in between. So for me, the buyer has purchased themselves a truly iconic piece. It is a Rolex that doesn't loudly scream Rolex. And I'd suggest that this model is a perfect entry into the world of Rolex, and something you should consider when getting your first luxury watch. So then, on to the price. As we saw on Chrono 24 earlier, there were very few items listed under £2,000, but by taking the time to ring around, actually speak to dealers, investing the effort in hunting for some value, this watch was purchased for, wait for it, under £1,500. Under £1,500. That's the same price as some Christopher Ward fashion watches. To me, the price paid is a fabulous bargain, and in truth, the owner could already sell this watch for a profit. Whilst this one is a keeper, at £1,500, I would say that this is the best value and cheapest way to own a Rolex steel watch that is worth having. Well guys, that's about all for today. What do you think of this piece? Is it a bargain? Or do you think that there are Rolex watches available today that offer better value? I'd love to hear from you in the comments section below. So the only thing left to say, as always, is thanks for watching, keep smiling, and see you again soon for another episode of Watches Etc.